Two things can be right at the same time. Somebody can be polarizing and controversial, problematic, and still not deserve when some shit gets done to them. And the real life level that people are willing to go because they hate someone, it goes too freaking far that they are willing to spin whatever narrative or do whatever they got to do to make that person the villain. When a lot of times that person already has showcased enough online that you could stick to their behaviors and their problematic shit that they do online and have plenty to talk about. So the fact that that real life aspect and level, we even have to go there to prove for what? For what? All that shows is that you are willing to go that far. But if you find yourself in a position where you dislike someone that much that you're willing to put out information or spin narratives, serious accusations against people that you don't know to be true, you just want to spin it to whatever, you got to reevaluate, man. That's not cool. I have seen some shady shit be done out here to other people that I know if it was done to them, or when it has been done to them, they wanted empathy. They wanted people to speak out. They wanted people to say, this is wrong. This isn't okay. But they do it to other people all the time, and they have excuses on why it's okay. Well, it's okay I did this because this person's not a good person, or this person did that, or this person. No, like at some point it has to get to a point where you take that out of the equation and say, like, am I okay with this or am I not? And there's never any repercussions for it. It just continues to get worse and worse. That's the issue too. You got people that false claim things all the time. False claim things all the time just because they're trolling, just because they don't like you. But real repercussions for real shit happening it's like it's not a thing on YouTube, and people get away with doing so much. Seeing how far other people are willing to go and how it's so accepted and it's getting worse and worse, it discourages me as a creator. It makes me like, what am I doing here? Sometimes the more it's accepted and the more it happens and the more it's supported, the more it's gonna continue happening. And what I've seen as a viewer and a creator is YouTube isn't going to do anything about it. It's not about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. We hear that a lot out here. People say it's about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, or it's about what's right and wrong, you know. But what I've seen as a creator is it's not about that at all. You have people that do wrong all the way around. We're all human. We're all make mistakes. We're all hypocrites. Okay. All of us. And we all make mistakes. It is what it is. But what happens is you got this person who does something that's wrong. And then you have this person who does something that's worse. This person does something wrong, something that to me is morally wrong. And then the reaction to that is, oh, well, I'm going to do something worse. And the abbreviation that people use a lot is fighting fire with fire, right? Fighting fire with fire. But what is that in the end? What does that do? And also it's like, where do we draw the line? When do we stop and say enough is really enough? Or be able to admit when we make mistakes and that we went too far, to move forward and say, hey, you know, this is too much. What has to happen before we get to that point? I don't know the answers to these questions, and I'm not perfect myself. I'm not sitting here claiming to be. But I can see and I can admit when things have gone too far. I see that a lot online. I know that the internet can be toxic, and that's never going to change. I'm very aware of that. I'm not naive to that. But I have to believe that if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking this way and I'm feeling this way and I get discouraged by all of this shit being done, that there has to be other people out there who feel similar. And this isn't about trying to vindicate anybody. This isn't about trying to victimize anyone. But I think that as people, we have to be able to step outside of the box sometimes and see when that is exactly what is happening. Whether we like that person or we don't, does not matter. Whether we're a fan of a person's content or we think that that person is problematic, doesn't mean that they are less than human and everything that happens to them is acceptable. It just doesn't. When it comes to children being used against a person to hurt them, that is unacceptable. And I cannot think of not one instance to where it would be okay to spin a disgusting narrative about a person's child. Even do that to a child is beyond wrong. No matter how much you dislike the person, the kids don't deserve that. Those kids will grow up, and all I can think is people out there who use kids as a weapon to hurt someone. All I can think about is the kids and how one day they may grow up and see this shit online about them. Or their friends from school may come on and see this shit about them. And I can't help but to reflect on my own kids and my own son and how devastated I would be if something like that happened to my child. I don't see how you can make excuses that that is okay. Even when it comes to these family vloggers. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that disagree with family vlogging, and you've got the Dougherty Dozen and the Ace family and all of these families. My issue with the anti-mommy vlogger people is the fact that they will weaponize the children and try to say that the kids are doing all of this disgusting stuff. And all I ever can think about is those kids and how they're going to see that and how they're going to feel about themselves and how their friends are going to feel about them. And my heart breaks for the children. Does that mean that I support mommy vloggers or family vloggers over sharing their children online? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel like we should protect our children, and it's okay to share. I've said how I feel about this before, but it's okay to share bits and pieces, moments, sentimental things. I don't see an issue with that, but I do see an issue with these channels that act like they are against child exploitation and that they're doing it for the greater good. And the way in which they decide to fight that argument is to use the kids as a weapon and to pick apart things about those children. That will never make sense to me. That will never make sense to me, and I will never support it, and I will never be okay with it, no matter the situation. As I said at the beginning of this, two things can be right at the same time. These people can overshare their kids or put videos of their kids up that shouldn't be up, whatever, and still not deserve for their kids to be picked apart online. It's sick. That way of thinking to excuse the behavior and say, well, they put it up there. Dude, come on. You cannot really think like that. There is no way you really think that. And if you do, again, I think it's time to just reevaluate. This is just one of many issues that I have with shit that's been going on recently, but it really bothers me. It really bothers me. And I don't want to target anybody or attack anyone, but I just felt like it was important to add this in and to just say, like, come on, guys, where do we draw the line? Where? I think what's bothering me the most, other than the obvious, is a lot of times people who weaponize children are parents themselves who have showed their kids on their own channels. And I'm guilty of that. I've showed my children here and there on my channels. I could not imagine someone ripping my baby apart in that way, or trying to put serious accusations against me as a parent or my children. I hate that because this has become so accepted that I now feel like I can't even share just a funny moment with any of my kids. I hate that I now feel, like I said at the beginning of my live stream, I hate that I now feel like I have to censor myself and filter out things that I would love to tell you guys about my family, things that I would love to tell you guys about my children, their accomplishments. That sucks. That really sucks. But after seeing things transpire and how far people are willing to go to try to make someone look so fucking bad, I cannot do that to my kids. I just can't. I can't even take that chance.